Hey, you're right there guys, it's Lewis for my first informational video. In this video I would like to speak about the top 4 or 5 first modifications to do to your Fiesta ST. These modifications are not directly to enhance your brake horsepower or performance, but more to enhance the drivability of your vehicle, and some of them may seem a little bit weird, but once you get them you'll understand why you got them in the first place. They're modifications that you'll only generally have to do once, and once that's done you won't have to do them again. So yeah, just without beating around the bush, to start off this video, I would like to start by saying short shifter. I personally don't have a short shifter, so it may seem a little bit counter blah blah, I'm not very good with words, to mention short shifter, but short shifter is a very simple modification that you can do. A lot of people think that it involves taking the whole gearbox out and taking the gear knob and housing blah 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 whatever out. You actually change the short shifter by going into your engine bay. I'll do a video on this soon when I do get around to buying one. They're not too expensive either, but yeah, short shifter, very easy to install. Will completely, you know, change the way that your gears go through the gears, and will just change the connection that you have with your vehicle. I think you have a much closer connection to your vehicle when you're driving on the road, especially with spirited driving, when you're putting your foot down, having fun. Essentially all the short shifter does is it shortens the length that the gear knob has to go in order to get into gear, and yeah, as you can probably imagine, it just improves the drivability of the vehicle. Cheap, easy to do. There's a lot of companies out there that manufacture these. I'll put a couple of links down below for the short shifters, which I would recommend, that friends have obviously used and tried and true, blah blah blah, all that stuff. But yeah, short shifter for my first one. Number 2 is like I say, a very strange one, but I think wind deflectors are a great modification to do to your vehicle, to any vehicle even. They're very cheap, they're easy to fit, and you'll thank yourself once you did buy them, as they're just really useful in general. One, they look great, I think personally. You can get them in tinted, you can get them see-through, blah blah blah, you can get them in completely black, you can pinstripe them, which I personally haven't done, but I've seen people that do and it looks really cool. But wind deflectors are really awesome. They fit in the window, at the top of the window. You've probably seen them before, and essentially all they do is, say if it's raining outside, or you want to get some fresh air but you don't want to let any dust in your vehicle, anything like that, all you have to do, obviously put your window down a little bit, you can get fresh air in. Even when it's extremely heavy raining, the rain still won't get into your vehicle. Obviously you can only use them properly when the window is down to the level of the wind deflector. If the window is all the way down, they obviously won't deflect everything. But obviously if you want to get some fresh air while you're driving and it's raining outside, wind deflectors are a really awesome choice. They're quite cheap, they're around 20 to 30 pounds on eBay, and I would recommend personally Hecko or Climair. I believe that the 4 genuine ones are made by Climair, whereas Heckos are the aftermarket ones. It's entirely up to you which ones you choose. Just know that you'll probably be paying more for the Climairs. I currently am using the Hecko ones. I've had them in my black edition, my old black edition, and this current car, and I haven't had any issues with them whatsoever. So, okay, so number 3, I would recommend a gear knob. I'll show you my gear knob at the moment. I'm currently using the Mountune one, which is a lot smaller than the current, than the standard gear knob, and it's a lot nicer to shift gears with. Has a lot more of a nicer feel to it. Can definitely change the way that your car feels to drive. Relatively cheap. You're paying around about £50, £60 for a Mountune one. There's obviously other companies out there that manufacture them, such as Cobb. That's all that I really know that do them, but obviously there are other companies out there. If you have a little look on eBay, you could probably find yourself a nice little gear knob. But I think changing your gear knob from the standard gear knob, which I will show you now, this thing here, which I keep obviously next to me, as you can obviously see, the Mountune gear knob is a lot nicer. It's obviously a little bit smaller, but it's completely circular. It's got a very nice smooth feel to it, whereas this one's got a sort of leather rough feel to it. The Sound Composer delete. So the Sound Composer in essence is a unit which Ford put in the vehicle which plumbs back induction noise through the passenger footwell. And you may know what I'm talking about if you're driving your vehicle, for example, you don't have a composer delete. You can hear the sort of bassy drony noise which comes through the passenger footwell. Some people like it, some people don't. I personally loved it when the car was standard, but when you start adding an exhaust onto your vehicle, an induction kit, things of that nature, and get a remap, it can get a little bit boomy in the cabin. So doing a Sound Composer delete is a very cheap and effective way to cut that out. It's completely safe to do to your vehicle. And as a matter of fact, it may be better for your vehicle, because if you do start tuning your car upwards, you can get boost leaks through the Sound Composer, which I believe you can fix, but obviously buying a Sound Composer delete, they're only about £10–20. You can get them on eBay, you can get them from companies such as Mountune, Motorsport. The Sound Composer delete is very easy to install if you have, considering you have the right tools. Obviously if you don't, then it's extremely hard, because the clips which you need to remove to put the Sound Composer delete in are extremely strong, extremely stiff, and they're not recommended to do with your hands. I personally have done it with my hands before, and it's extremely painful. It's really hard to get out. So just getting a nice little pair of mole grips, or the suitable tool for the job, will make it a lot more easier to install, a lot less sort of stressful. Yeah, so Sound Composer delete number 4. Okay, so coming to number 5, our fifth and last modification, which I would recommend to do to your Fiesta ST first, is a torque mount. Now, you can get varying grades of torque mount depending on which company you go with. I know that AirTech or Autospecialists do varying grades under their actual torque mount, so they have different bushings which you can purchase. One rated really hard, which is the black one, I believe, and then you've got the yellow one, which is quite soft and nice for daily driving, but it still does its purpose. And essentially what the torque mount does is it cuts out wheel hop when you're pulling off. It makes gear shifts a lot more positive, improved traction. Extremely simple modification to do, just requires a little bit of time and the correct tools. And yeah, torque mount as number 5, like I say, would highly recommend getting a torque mount. I myself used to have the REVO one. It was extremely vibraty in the cabin. It was quite hard to put up with in daily driving, especially when you're driving quite economically. If you're, have a long drive to work or something like that, it can get extremely annoying and uncomfortable to drive with. So say if you are driving a daily driven vehicle, the Mountune one I believe is quite good, or the Autospecialists one. I believe Motorsport just brought out a new one, but obviously just ask around, see which one's the best for your vehicle. There are a lot of them out there, but yeah, torque mount is number 5, and the 5th and final modification which I would recommend doing first to your Fiesta ST. So yeah, there we go, guys. That's the 5 modifications I would recommend doing first to your Fiesta ST when you first buy the vehicle. If you're even thinking about doing modifications, maybe do these first before you go for performance. You will thank yourself for it, and it's essentially just preparing you for extra power if you do decide to go down the remapping route, to get more sort of more power, more raw power, more brake horsepower out of your vehicle. I've watched a lot of these videos recently about the top 5 first modifications. They generally mention sort of induction kits and exhausts and stuff like that. These modifications, not only can they make your insurance a lot higher, but in turn they will make your vehicle use more fuel. And just generally putting in these modifications in your vehicle while it's running standard is a waste of money if you're not looking to remap your vehicle. Generally, because when you do add these modifications, the car's not tuned for those modifications, such as a cone filter or a decat or an exhaust. So you may find that the car may run a little bit weird, may use a little bit more fuel. You probably won't find any performance gains from it. So yeah, it's not really worth the money if you're not looking to remap your vehicle, not looking to get into serious sort of performance there. So yeah, that was that video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was some good information there. And I hope you guys know now that it doesn't cost insane money to modify your vehicle, to do nice little bits and bobs there that can improve the drivability of your vehicle, the connection with the vehicle, and just make your life a little bit nicer, to a little bit easier, such as the wind deflectors. The gear knob, just make things feel a little bit nicer. So yeah, that's my top 5 first modifications. Hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry if I ranted on a little bit. This is my first video that I've spoke to the camera, I believe. Yeah, cheers for watching, guys, and you take care. See you in the next video. Goodbye.